Have you ever stopped to consider why, among the thousands of trees populating the forest, the birch tree specifically begins to develop this peculiar black growth? The system has conditioned us to view chaga as nothing more than a cheap tea substitute or a folk remedy for those who cannot afford proper pharmaceuticals. But what if I told you that this black coal-like mass represents the planet's most powerful accumulator of solar energy and melanin, capable of literally repairing breaches in your DNA? While you exhaust your finances on synthetic antioxidants and imported superfoods from across the ocean, corporations have spent decades purchasing chaga by the ton, processing it into expensive extracts targeting conditions that conventional medicine labels incurable. Chaga constitutes a biological survival archive that the system desperately attempts to relegate to the category of grandmother's recipes, hoping you never realize that the key to your immune autonomy has always hung within arm's reach in the nearest forest. Today, we pry open the dossier on a fungus that transforms a tree's energy into your personal shield against radiation, toxins, and cellular disintegration. Let us journey back to the 12th century. Historical chronicles preserve the account of Grand Prince Vladimir Monomakh, who recovered from a devastating illness, what today would be classified as oncology, precisely through decoctions prepared from birch fungus. This represents not legend, but documented evidence of how our ancestors deployed chaga as highest-tier therapeutic intervention. Yet why does chaga fail to occupy primary position in modern medical protocols? The answer proves remarkably straightforward. Chaga grows with agonizing slowness. For the fungus to accumulate its genuine power, it requires 10 to 20 years of sustained struggle against the host tree. The system cannot place this on a conveyor belt. It cannot synthesize chaga within laboratories while preserving its magical molecular architecture. This explains why its significance undergoes deliberate minimization. We are taught that progress means petroleum-derived tablets, while the truth that genuine regeneration remains accessible only through products that themselves pass through survival's crucible remains carefully concealed. Chaga represents black gold that sustained northern peoples through centuries, shielding them from degradation and decline. Today, we reclaim this resource from enforced oblivion. Let us peer into this fungus's black abyss through biochemistry's lens. Why does chaga appear black? Because it consists of approximately 30% melanin. Melanin within chaga functions as far more than simple pigment. It operates as a powerful photoprotector and neuronal restorative agent. In essence, chaga constitutes concentrated sunlight that the birch absorbed across years of exposure. Yet the primary treasure resides in its unique chromogenic polyphenol carboxylic complex, an extraordinarily intricate molecular configuration impossible to reproduce artificially. These compounds function as precision repair teams operating within your cells. They locate damaged membrane sections and restore their functional potential. Chaga contains substantial quantities of manganese, copper, and zinc in bioavailable forms, minerals essential for your protective enzymes operation. The system remains silent, however, about chaga's status as one of the few products containing butylenic acid, which the fungus extracts from birch and concentrates within its own tissue. This acid possesses the capacity to selectively eliminate cells bearing corrupted code while leaving healthy cells untouched.
This represents natural selection operating inside your organism, a process pharmacology attempts to mimic through aggressive chemical intervention. Consider the world we inhabit, a world of oxidative stress, radiation emanating from every device, and nutritionally toxic food. The system offers maintenance therapy that merely masks symptoms while your mitochondria slowly expire. Chaga proposes something radically different, a complete strategic reorientation. It functions as an adaptogen of the highest order. Rather than whipping the immune system like a beaten horse, it harmonizes immune function. When your defenses prove inadequate, it strengthens them. When they attack healthy tissue, as in autoimmune processes, chaga calms them. This constitutes genuine biological intelligence. Have you ever questioned why regions where chaga traditionally replaces tea documented dramatically lower statistics for civilization diseases? The system possesses this knowledge, which explains why pharmacy chaga frequently appears as alcohol tinctures or low-quality raw material with active compounds already destroyed through improper processing. They have no use for healthy, energetic humans with clean lymphatic systems. They require consumers who tremble at every viral threat. How then should we properly engage with this black treasure without reducing it to worthless wooden debris? Listen carefully, because preparation determines 90% of chaga's effectiveness. The sovereign individual's first rule: never purchase chaga in the form of fine dust inside tea bags. Venture into the forest or seek whole chunks instead. Genuine chaga must prove rock solid with distinctly defined black exterior. This outer layer contains maximum melanin concentration, yet here lies the principal secret the system attempts to obscure behind the word brewing. Chaga must never reach boiling temperature. Heating beyond 60 to 70 degrees Celsius destroys that precious chromogenic complex. To unlock the fungus, you must first fragment it into small pieces, then cover with warm water and allow infusion within a thermos for minimum 12, preferably 24 hours. This slow extraction permits living water to draw out all polysaccharides and organic compounds without structural degradation. You will obtain a dense, nearly black beverage carrying pleasant woody notes. Traditional northern practice holds that optimal engagement involves consuming the infusion approximately 30 minutes before meals. From a biochemical perspective, this allows polysaccharides to prepare the mucous membranes, establishing a kind of biological barrier. Researchers note that precisely during this interval, the liver and blood's self-cleansing mechanisms activate. Chaga, however, tolerates no haste. It demands discipline. Archival evidence indicates that traditional cycles for deep organismic tuning toward survival frequency and gradual cellular restoration extended across 2 to 3 months. This represents no quick pharmacy fix. It constitutes a process of prolonged synchronization between your body and nature's regenerative rhythms. Harvest your own chaga, far from roads and urban centers. Store it within paper sacks, and remember, this ancient warrior fungus waited 15 years specifically to transmit its power to you. This represents your personal autonomous resource, impossible to counterfeit or prohibit as long as our forests remain standing. This concludes our session. Remember that this black growth upon white birch demonstrates vividly how any external assault can transform into extraordinary internal resource, provided one approaches it with understanding. The system fears chaga because it renders you invulnerable to environmental threats and independent from pharmaceutical supply chains. The individual whose cells remain protected by melanin and betulin preserves mental clarity and spiritual fortitude even through darkness. Purity of organism constitutes the preliminary step toward purity of thought, and it is precisely this control that the system fears most intensely. Therefore, effective knowledge undergoes deliberate replacement with flashy advertising for empty vitamin supplements. The choice remains yours: persist in energy deficit or reclaim your entitlement to the forest's power. Nature has already deposited the complete toolkit for protection and longevity. The only missing component is operational memory. Subscribe to this channel. Here, we progressively recover our stolen history and biological authority. Refuse to let the system think for you. Seek truth precisely where they attempt its concealment. Re-establish connection with nature. Assume full responsibility for your existence. remain sovereign.